Hey guys, Rob Baldwin here, IMX Video and Design. Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to do a little different segment. This is something we're going to call Photoshop Artist Reacts, and where I'm going to react to some memes that are popular right now on the internet, and then I'm going to give you some tips on how you can meme better or create better memes. So today, obviously, we are taking a look at the Bernie Sanders meme that's been going around. I don't think anyone on the planet right now has not seen this meme. So it's a photo of him at the inauguration, and he's looking all comfy, cozy in his chair with his mittens and his mask, and people have just gone to town, putting him in every scenario imaginable, and it's been hilarious. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to go through some of my favorites. I'm going to go through some of the memes and give you my critique as a professional Photoshop artist, some of my critiques and what can be done to improve these memes, okay? If you want to skip ahead to that tutorial portion, I'm going to put some chapter links below so you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to jump right in. So here's a high-res original image. We're going to get back to this in the tutorial portion. Let's get into some memes here. So here he is on the boat. This is from the Sandra Bullock movie, Bird Box. And I actually haven't seen that movie yet. I really should get around to watching it. This one's not bad. I mean, he's well obscured behind the that oar, and yeah, this one's really not that bad, and this one's really good. So this obviously Game of Thrones. We pasted him on top of Bran. Now I'm just gonna critique the mistakes here, so I can still see right here a little bit of Bran behind on either side here. But that's really the only mistake. Other than that, I love the fact that he's cut out properly. They got the fur on top. So I guess that fur was on top of Bran, and they got it on top of Bernie. So that's really well done. And even I think was there color grading done here? Let's go back to the original. Yeah, see, it's definitely, see how darker that is? So it's definitely got some color grading going on. So to match the Game of Thrones image. So really, really well done here. This meme is fantastic. Moving on. So here, this one here is a classic, kind of a no-no. Yeah, they just pasted that one right on top. See her arm, and the chair's still there. So, you know, if Bernie was supposed to be walking here, you would want to cut out part of the chair, and you can see the girl's arm in the back. So what you could do here is simply try to obscure that. You can see a bit of her hair here. But another thing is the color grading. See, again, the color grading is completely off, and that's actually really easily fixable. I mean, we could just grab a lasso tool, select Bernie's head here, and then do a quick hue and saturation, or sorry, not hue and saturation, we'll do color balance. Command or Control B for color balance, and then we just want to up the red, up the yellows, and see we're reaching that orange tint. Just a little bit. I'm just doing the mid-tones. You could do the highlights, shadows as well. There we go. So we got an orange tint. Then we could Command or Control M for curves, and then just up the brightness slightly to give a little more contrast, a little higher brightness. See, already that was very quick, and already we're matching. See, compared to what was there before, we're matching the color, the skin tones of the image much better. Okay, on to the next one. Same thing here. It's color grading. I mean, he's well cut in to the frames. He's placed behind Han and Chewie here. He's well cut in, but look at the highlights and the shadows on Han here. It's much darker, much more higher contrast than on Bernie. So again, color grading. It's all about matching the original image. Harry Potter. So under the sorting hat. Now here another classic example of color grading. See, you want to look at the image. What are the highlights and the shadow points, the high and low points on your original image? So if you look at McGonagall's hat here, that's your black. See how it's not fully pitch black. It's kind of washed out. So that's what you want to match in the new image that you're bringing in. You want to match that. Same with the whites. If you look at Bernie's hair and Bernie's mask here, the whites are very bright. Whereas if we go over to Dumbledore's hair, it's washed out. It's more gray. So very simple fix. We're going to come up here to selected mask, and then we're going to do a quick selection of Bernie. Try not to get the sorting hat. Okay, that's pretty good. Click OK. We're going to hit Command and Control, hit the mask. It's going to make that selection. Then we can delete the mask because we actually don't need the mask. We just want the selection. Oh, we're missing a bit of his arm there. So just select the arm. There we go. Now, oh, we got everything. Now hit Command and Control M for curves. Once again, we're gonna heighten that to remove some of that black. We're gonna lower the highlights, remove some of that white, and then we just tweak that curve a little bit. There you go. Look at that. Look how much better, with just a quick tweak, look how much better he fits in this image. If we go back to where we pasted it, look at that. Huge, huge difference. Next, I like this one. I really like this one because it's really well cut out. I really like the way he's cut out into the seat here. The mask, the selection here has a bit too much feathering right here, so that could be fixed. It should be a little, the mask should be a little sharper, so too much feathering. However, I'm not seeing I don't know if there was an original person behind, but I'm not seeing that person if there is one. So it's really well integrated into the photo. That's a huge thing. Whenever you're adding someone into an image, some sort of integration is always really good. So you either, if you put them behind an object or you put an object on top of them, like the restraints in this photo, that always helps, as opposed to just putting something like right on top. If they're just pasted on top, it doesn't look like they're part of the image. So trick is just to kind of integrate them, get something in front, so they're really integrated in the image. The only thing here, once again, would be the fact that this is really washed out. Look how washed out this guy's face is. So Bernie is not. So once again, we could do the same thing we did for the Harry Potter photos. Come here to select and mask. We're just going to try to quickly select just Bernie. There we go. That was good. Just unselect here. Unselect behind them. Perfect. Oh, no. Unselect these. Don't want that. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Just Bernie here. Not bad. Obviously, I could fix that if I was going to do go nuts. Okay, delete the layer mask, but now we have our selection. Command and Control M, same thing for curves. And now we're just going to blast the highlights, kind of. Okay, and just that. I mean, maybe not so much here, but just that. Look, especially in the face. Look how much more highlight there is. So he matches the highlights on this guy. Okay, so that concludes my review. There's so many more. Please comment below. Tell me which of the memes were your favorite. If you want to leave a link to a meme somewhere, which of the ones were your favorite. There's actually some videos too. There was I can't find it, but there was one GIF, that GIF of Jason Momoa flipping the lawn chair as he puts it on the ground, and when the guy flips it, they superimposed Bernie onto it. I just lost it on that one, and it was perfectly tracked too. Beautiful job. But now let's get to making our own memes, okay? So I'm going to show you 3 tricks. So there's 3 things that to me make a good meme. Number 1 is selection. You have to select the image properly. If your edges are too feathered or not feathered enough, it won't look good. Number 2 would be color grading. As I mentioned, pretty much all the memes that I showed, the color grading wasn't perfect. So doing proper color grading, very important. And then after that, lastly, would be integrating. So integrating can be a lot of, like I mentioned earlier, putting something in front. It can also mean shadows and reflections, and we're going to take a look at that quickly. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is select Mr. Bernie here. So with my original image, I'm going to go up here, same as we did before, select and mask. And we're going to increase the size a little bit. The quick selection tool, I should know that. That's what it's called. So we're just going to go around and we're going to select Bernie as loosely as possible. And it's not going to be perfect. We're going to fix it after. That's pretty awesome. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and we're going to, where it shouldn't have selected, we're just going to hold down Shift, Alt, or Option, and it's going to reverse that selection. We're just going to, no, not do that. Okay. So we're going to have to go in up here and do some tweaking. Let's come down here. We don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. You see when you hold down Shift or Alt, that little plus and minus, that's, you know, if you're a plus, you're adding to the selection. If you're a minus, you're removing from the selection. Okay, pretty good. Now the next one, we're going to go into the Refine Edge Brush tool. This is going to refine the edge. So we see right here, just going to brush over it, and it perfectly refines that edge. This is great, actually, if you're selecting hair. This works brilliantly. Okay, looking pretty good. Over here, go. And I mean, I'm not spending too much time on this. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, you can spend hours and hours on Photoshop. And that's true, you could. But a lot of the time, you don't have to spend hours, and you can still create something pretty damn good. Look how well we're doing with the hair. I don't want that. There we go. Okay, so his head's a little bit not being properly selected here. So the last tool we can use is the brush tool. This is just a simple brush that basically you're manually selecting at this point. So we're gonna up that brush, and we're just gonna go here. I don't even know where his hair ends, to be honest. I think I'm selecting too much. So maybe like that. I think that's pretty good. Oh, it's gonna be miles ahead of a lot of the memes out there. Okay, let's click OK. And there we go. We've got a perfect selection of Bernie. We can then apply the mask, and that's going to apply it. And then we can select the canvas, hit Command and Control C, and we've got our Bernie selected. So let's go over to our I got two scenes from Star Wars here that I'm going to place them into. Let's start with the Darth Vader arrives on the Death Star at the beginning of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Ooh, that's a big Bernie. So we're going to scale him down. And place him next to this guard right here. And I think that's a good size. Scale is also a big thing. A lot of the scales are never done properly. There we go, right there. I mean, for me, the main thing scales is you look at the head. Is his head much bigger than this guy's head? It is. This guy's a little further behind, I suppose. But maybe scale him down a tad. I don't know. It's not easy. You gotta just do your best. Okay. Now look at the blacks. Black on Vader, black on this guy's outfit. It's very, very dark, which means that the black on Bernie needs to match that darkness. So hit Command and Control M for our curves. Put it next. Make sure you can see the guy, because this is the guy we're going to try to match. And then we're just going to bring that down until we're matching the equal darkness. But now his head is a bit too dark, so we're going to bring the curve up a bit and back up to where it was. I want even darker. Well, not too bright, because the whites here are not too bright either. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, saturation. Hit Command and Control U for hue and saturation. This is one thing that, you know, if the scene was washed out, you could lower the saturation. I'm actually going to lower it slightly. If it was like black and white, you would put it all the way. If it was really, well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm going to lower it slightly. Look at their skin tones. You're seeing a little bit of red, but not too much. So we're lowering it slightly. I think that's pretty good. Okay, the last thing is I'm not seeing shadows here, at least not much, but I am seeing reflection. So that's what we want to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Bernie layer, drag it down to the plus sign, and it's going to duplicate our Bernie layer. We are then going to hit Command and Control T for transform, right click, and we're going to do flip vertical. That's going to bring them down. And then we're going to line this up as best we can. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to line it up with the floor. We're going to hit the mask tool. It's going to apply a mask. And then we're going to come here and get the gradient tool. And we're going to draw a line opposite. Start from here. You should be selected in black and white down here. We're going to draw a line. And that's going to create our little reflection here. And now what we want to do is just try to match the reflection of all the other officers. So there seems to be a high contrast on the reflections. So we're going to lower this, make the curves again higher. It's pretty good. And a very slight blur. So come up here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And we're going to add a very, very slight blur. Like really, really slight. Yeah, it's still darker, eh? Yeah, you know, I'm not liking that. Let's go back to here. You know what? Let's duplicate the layer. Because I really want it to be friggin' dark. Let's do 3 layers. We're going to merge them. Hit Command and Control E. Now I got that darkness. Let's put the reflection layer underneath the Bernie layer. And then we can go ahead and do our blur. Ever so slight blur. I might not even need a damn blur. I mean, again, a lot of this is just trial by error. I'm just doing this as I'm going. Okay. Let's put a mask on it. We need to obscure it behind here, so I'm just going to grab the selection tool, select the ramp. Obviously, we can't have a reflection on the ramp. And then just, we're going to hit Command and Control and delete. Sorry, Option Alt Delete. And that's going to fill, see, a little black area right there. So now our reflection is not behind. Okay, so I mean, he looks integrated. You're not automatically right away drawn to him. What happens often in a meme like this, especially when he's in the background, is if it comes out too much, you're immediately drawn to it. So I don't think it is here. So I'm happy with that one. Okay, let's go back to original. Let's grab Bernie again. Hit Command Control C. Number 2. Okay, here we are on Tatooine. I believe this is from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And we're going to try to put him right behind here. Right here. Maybe behind these kids playing, kind of in the back there. So, paste again. Command Control T for free transform. And we're going to scale him down. And just place him right there behind the kids. We're going to go down a little bit. And I think that is pretty good. Yeah, that's where I want him. Move him a little bit. There we go, because I want him behind the kids. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to zoom in here. Well, a lot of things we do. We need to color grade. We need to obscure him behind the kids, and then we need to add some shadow. So it doesn't really matter which order you go in. I'm going to start with masking him behind the kids. So what I like to do is add a mask. So come down here, hit the mask. That applies a mask. We're going to grab a brush tool. We want a fairly small brush. We're going to go like 0 hardness, maybe like 2%, 5%, something like that. Very low brush. Okay, 100% opacity though, but the hardness down to like 4%. And then with your mask selected, make sure you're not brushing on Bernie, you're brushing on the mask. And black selected, we're just going to paint him out. Trying to know exactly where those kids are. Another way you could do is just select the kids first and then mask, but we didn't do that. Draw white if you need to draw him back in. There you go. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, he's behind the kids there. That's good. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is color grading. So once again, we're looking for blacks. There's not much black in the scene. This is probably the darkest element in the scene. So I'm going to try to match that in terms of color. So once again, I'm going to hit the Command Control M for curves. And just this low point in the blacks here, we're going to bring it up. Not too high. About there is good. And we're going to bring the white can stay pretty high. Down. Honestly, you move the curve until you're happy with it. There's no kind of one, this is the way it should be done. It's just until you're happy with it. Okay, I like that. Next up is color balance. Hit Command and Control B, and we're trying to match. See a lot of reds. Again, we're on a desert planet, so a lot of oranges, lots of yellows. This is what we want to do. Go to highlights, do the same thing. Shadows. I'm not too big on the show. No, that's too much of the shadows. Midtones and highlights are what you're going to touch on the most. Okay? It's not bad. I'm not going to get into grain today. You could add some grain to it. You can blur it slightly or add some grain, but for the sake of this tutorial today, I'm not going to get into that. What we are going to do is add a shadow. Now, whenever you're adding shadow, look in the scene, see if there's already shadows, because obviously you're going to want to follow the same direction. If the sun is in a specific direction, all the shadows in the scene are going this way, and then you put your shadow in going that way, that's just going to look weird. So make sure you follow the natural shadows of the image. So as you can see here, these are pretty elongated, and they're all going in that direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and duplicate the Bernie layer. I'm going to click the layer underneath. I'm going to delete the mask. All right, so here's our duplicated Bernie. Command and Control M, we want them all black. So we're going to just take this and drop all the way down. That creates just a black Bernie layer. Hit Command and Control T again for transform, and then we're going to distort. And we're just going to drag one end down, drag the other end down, and try to match as best. It's not going to be perfect. There's no way to make it perfect, but you're going to try to match, line it up with the feet, line it up with the feet of the chair as much as you can. From here, we're going to just lower the opacity until it matches the shadows on the others. And then the edges are going to be a little sharp, so we're just going to give it a Gaussian blur. Not too much. Oh my god, maybe 0.2. Okay, and that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that feature. This is something we're going to do a lot more. If there's other memes you want us to review, comment below. Tell us which memes are either really popular right now or ones that you've always liked that you want me to review different memes. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's any other memes, other Bernie memes that you like, that you want to just tell me which one's your favorites. And hopefully you've enjoyed these tips and tricks, and next time there's an awesome trending meme going on, you can make better memes that look better and are just awesome. Okay, so we will see you next time, guys. Check out some of the other videos, other Photoshop videos on the channel. And by the way, I have a new channel where I teach you how to make awesome cocktails like this. So I will link below. This is a Negroni that I'm drinking today. You can go check out how to make that on my other channel. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Cheers.